Well, hello. It's Trudy again from HotPatterns, introducing a brand new pattern as always, but this time this one's a little bit unusual and we're actually really excited about it because this is our very first menswear pattern. Ooh, so exciting. This is the Mr. HP Straight Talking Straight Leg Jean. Now, we've had this one in the works for so long, I can't begin to tell you, and we've kind of talked ourselves into it and talked ourselves out of it, and finally we just said, let's just do the men's jeans pattern. So that's what we've done. And so this little clip is to show you actually how it looks, obviously on a body, and to go through with you a few details about fitting. But before we get into that, I'm going to have a brief chat with you about fabric, which I know kind of sounds ridiculous. You know, you're making jeans, you're going to use denim, obviously. But here's the thing, when you're doing a jean like the Mr. HP Straight Talking Straight Leg Jean, or quite frankly any of our jeans, you need to be really picky about the fabric you use for them. Obviously you're going to start off with a denim, but you do not want to be going for the, shall we say, lower price end of denims. I know that you can get cheap denim almost anywhere. You can get them online and you can get it at your local craft emporium, and they will look awful, I promise you. So I'm trying to explain this to you so you understand why when you see the jeans that we've made, why we've used the denim we have. We've used a very high quality premium denim. If you want to make a very high quality premium jean, which you do, then you're going to have to use the proper stuff. Proper denim, proper rivets, proper buttons and proper top stitching thread. It's all pretty easy to source, and I'll show you some of it shortly, but that's a really crucial thing to remember. Basically it's like computer things, garbage in, garbage out, same thing with sewing. If you use high quality, you'll get a high quality product at the end. So that's my little kind of nag on you about fabric, but more importantly, you want to see the jeans on a body in motion. Now clearly I'm a girl. Menswear jeans are no good for me. So I'm going to have to bring Jeremy on now, who's going to model the Mr. HP Straight Talking Straight Leg Jeans just for you. So as you can see, we have the lovely Jeremy now on camera, and there's two things to point out here. One's really obvious, which is that Jeremy is a tall guy. I mean, I'm 5'6", I'm wearing an extreme wedge, and still he's way taller than me.
I'm 6'5".
Yes. We like an economy-sized husband in this household, and I certainly got one. And the other thing to point out is that we've never actually filmed together on camera before, so now we have the clash of the egos. We have Jeremy's ego and my ego, both big, so we may well talk over each other, so I apologise in advance. So, let's get cracking. Jeremy is now going to give you a quick run-through of the fabulous Mr. HP Straight Talking Straight Leg.
So here I am, modelling the Straight Talking Straight Leg Jean. As you can see, we made it from a premium denim, and one of the things I wanted to touch on was, and this took two fittings. Trudy made a muslin, and I was amazed at how much she had to alter. And if you look, I've got a very, I think when I used to have suits made in London in a tailor's shop, I was what referred to as a forward stomach and a very flat ass. So one of the problems I was having with store-bought jeans was the rise wasn't long enough, and we'll show you shortly on a pair of store-bought Levi's that the rise is 4 inches too short.
And like 4 inches is like that much. That's a lot. When you're wearing a garment that kind of goes through between your legs, to have to hoik it up. That 4 inches is a lot.
What really struck me, sorry, I'm talking over you. What really struck me when we started with this, when she got the very first pair made, which is going back a year now, was how well these pants fitted. I mean, probably the first time in 20 years I had a pair of pants that actually fitted me. And at first it felt really strange. I was like, whoa, these are weird. But you soon get used to it, and great fitting pants, no matter who you are a thing of joy, they really are. So we went on ahead and we used a really premium quality button for a button fly, though of course you can put a zipper in, and we used a premium quality denim, and we didn't rivet these. I wanted these as more of a dress jean, but we do have rivets, we'll be showing you later, and later on our site soon we'll have very high quality buttons, American made rivets, and again high quality denim. We're trying to make this a situation where you have, what's the phrase I'm looking for? We're trying to make this a situation where we give you the best possible tools to make great men's jeans,
right,
and ladies' jeans, of course.
Right. So this is all about kind of setting you up for success. It's important to have the right pattern, obviously, but you can have the best pattern in the world. If you don't have the right denim and the right notions, you're not really going to get a fabulous product. So we're trying to give you, with the goods that we're going to be giving you, we're trying to give you the best possible chance to make a really stunning item. Now, you can see quite clearly, or I'm hoping you can see, that we have a small dog in shot. Apologies for that, there is nothing we can do about it.
Should I point like on a 1960s simplicity pattern?
I think you should. You need a pipe.
I do need a pipe.
You need a pipe. I'm sorry, I don't have one. But, or you can just do this.
I could, yes.
Okay. Or, failing that, we'll just go through the details. Okay, so these are a real classic cut jean. 5-pocket jean. And the 5 pockets are, of course, the 2 curved ones at the front. 1 little coin pocket here. I mean, clearly they're for coins, but who the heck uses them? And 2 patch pockets at the back. There are the 2 patch pockets. Turn around again, please, for the front. Now, with this one, this has got, as Jeremy earlier said, this has got a button fly. And when we take it off, we'll do a little close-up so you can see the button fly.
There is no button fly.
Oh! There's a shocker. I wasn't expecting that. You can do a button fly or you can do a zipper fly. Really is your choice. I know Jeremy prefers a button fly because he really likes the more classic, kind of traditional jean. And that's the whole point of this.
I also don't like getting my pecker caught in my zip.
All right, thanks for sharing that. It's really interesting. Okay, and the other thing to point out is on this, I've used the classic kind of that burnt orange colour, that kind of yellowy goldy colour, top stitching thread, and it really does look very crisp against the very dark indigo denim. It's got the button fly, as I say. You've got a little bar tack here, which is a classic Levi's kind of thing to do, and you've got the back yoke. Can you just shimmy around to the back, please? There is the back yoke, rather lovely. And the other thing to point out to you that's really key is, turn around to the front again please, Jan, is that when you do a larger size, and when I say larger, I mean anything over like a 40-inch waist, you're going to end up putting in extra belt loops. These have got the 2 at the front, 2 there, and then we have another 3 through the back. So it's really down to you what size you're making, how many belt loops you use, but you definitely need a minimum of 5. But this is all in the pattern, so you don't have to kind of think too hard about it. And the other thing to say, of course, is that when you're fitting them, what you must do, which I had to do with this, is you have to get the person who's going to be wearing them, be it yourself or your beloved that you're sewing them for, they need to have them hemmed while wearing the shoes they're going to wear. Just like girlies do when we like to do a dress, we like to wear the shoes we're going to wear them with, or do pants. You've got to wear, in Jeremy's case, his manly boots. Very manly. Manly unbalanced boots. You've got to do that as well. But apart from that, it's really a very, very simple piece to put together. It's just a basic classic jean. We'll show you shortly some close-ups, and I'm going to give you a kind of quick and dirty way of doing some fitting tweaks to it. But really, it's down to you. It's down to you using the right fabric, the right notions, obviously our lovely pattern, because that's the right pattern, and just making them beautifully, which I know you can do.
The interesting thing as well, Trudy, is that, I mean, we talked about this a lot, you can use a whole range of things. You can...
different fabrics?
Yeah, different fabric. Well, you can, but also your detail.
Absolutely.
You know, top stitching on the back pocket, which I didn't want on these.
Absolutely.
And, you know, different coloured threads.
Yeah,
I mean,
different coloured threads.
One of the things that inspired this jean was a company called Telson. They're out of San Francisco, and I was looking for a pair of American-made jeans, and they make great jeans. But they were about $300 a pair, and I was like...
And they're also for like very, very...
Yeah, and they came in, I think the maximum waist was a 36, and...
I don't think I fit into that. So
it's been a few years since I saw a 36-inch waist. So, it's all about creativity, and somebody said to me recently, well, you know, why would anyone pay, you know, $16 for a jeans pattern? Whatever it is, $16.50. But, you know, make it up 4 or 5 times, make it for nephews, son-in-laws, husbands. Over the cost of 5 or 6 pairs, it's amortized. You know, I mean, you're probably going to spend, with notions and with fabric and the pattern, I don't know, it's $40. You get an absolute premium quality product.
It's true.
I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. This is what we always like to think of when we're doing a pattern. We like to think of something that you're not just going to make one time. You're going to make multiples of this, which means that after maybe a year of making 2 or 3 pairs of these, you know, your cost per wear is going to go right down.
I mean, you know, wash them in cold water.
Yes,
you know,
that's
true. Wash them in cold water, and they'll last. These, I mean, I like things that last. I'm a bit old-fashioned, and I don't like throwaway things. Just the way I am. And these will last me a good 4 or 5 years, maybe longer, I would have thought. And I wear jeans. Although I must say the first pair you made, I got all over and I ripped.
Yes,
so.
you did. Yes, you did. Fantastic. But you know what? That's the great thing. If you're making jeans, you're like, oh well, it's inconvenient, but that's all it is. You're never going to cry and sob because your favourite jeans are gone forever. Just make some more. Okay, so I thought it'd be useful for you to have a quick kind of idea of how to do sort of a quick and dirty way of fitting these jeans. And this actually applies to all jeans. It's actually a lot easier than you might think. You just have to kind of zen it out and not get too stressed. And of course, this is why you make a muslin. I know I turn into this like naggy person talking about muslins, but let's put it this way. I have never regretted making a muslin, but I've often regretted not making a muslin. So it's really your call, but make the muslin. All right, here is how you start out. You pin together your back, cunningly marked as back, and your back yoke along the seam line, so you get a complete back. And you do the same thing on your front. You just put together your pocket pieces so you get your front with the pocket. Don't worry about the fly, don't worry about the waistband. This is what you start with, and you just lay it down. Now obviously you're going to measure off, so you've got a rough idea of what size you're using, but you just get to the nearest size. Always go bigger than smaller, because it's easier to take in than it is to let out. And then you're ready to start splitting up your pattern. And now I'm going to show you another piece of paper where I've roughed it out, where you're going to split and why you're going to split it. Okay, so you've got your back and your front kind of pinned together, so you've got a full back and a full front. Here is where you can split your garment. Now for length, going through the length, so going through the rise here, going through the thigh and going through the knee, you split horizontally, because you're going to expand it that way. For girth, you're going to split down here because you don't expand it that way. Now here's a little tip for you. If you've got what I would call the classic men's shape, which is very similar to Jeremy's, where you have, shall we say, a fuller tummy and a slightly flatter bottom, you can say that you can use one size on the back and another size on the front. That's easy to do. So let's say you're a size 40, but you've got a fuller tummy and a flatter back. You use a 42 for the front and a 38 for the back, and just blend the length at the top and the bottom, and you will get, you're nearly there, you've taken care of the flat bottom, you've taken care of a little bit more girth through the front. Now I'm going to show you on the next one how to kind of fiddle and futz with it, but it's not hard, and this will give you a very quick and dirty kind of way to fit your muslin before you get in there and do the final little tweaks that will make it perfect. But let's have a look at what these lines mean, where they're going to be. Alright, starting from the bottom, this is around about your knee. Of course your knee will vary from somebody else's knee. You know, measure it off, decide where the knee is. Knee, thigh, through the rise and through the hips. You can of course add on top or take away on top. You can add or take away on the bottom. But if it's more than an inch, you need to start doing it through here, because really you can just kind of spread all that excess that you're taking in or letting out much more evenly through the garment. So don't forget, that's hip, through the rise, through the thigh, through the knee. Easy peasy. Okay, so here is our pattern kind of exploded. You see I've got my trusty pen in my hand. I'm going to show you why in a moment. Now, I've moved these apart an inch each piece. If it's going to be more than an inch, you need to go up a size. I mean, because each grade is like a 2-inch grade in circumference, so more than an inch, go up a size, really. Of course, you can't always do that for length, so you can add or take away as much length as you want through these ones here. Now, the final thing to tell you is this. Let's say, for instance, you add in some extra through the waist. Well, you're not going to want an extra 2 inches through the leg as well. That's just ridiculous. You don't want to do that. So here's what you do. You add in all the way down here. Don't split it like that. Split it like that. Does that make sense? And then all you do is take off your extra down here. If you've added in an inch on your back, you'll take off ½ an inch here and blend it out, and ½ an inch there and blend it out. Easy, which means that you've got the extra girth that you need, but you retain the integrity of the pattern piece shape, which is really, really key. You can do that on the back, you can do it on the front, and you should do it to do your muslin.
So here's a little close-up of the jeans that we made, Jeremy's jeans in fact. Obviously you can see coin pocket here, ordinary curve pocket, belt loop, and the nice classic jeans tack button. And if we look a little bit closer, you'll also see that in here we have the button fly with the tack buttons as well. Now I'm going to give you a little close-up, a really, really super close-up of these buttons on a sample. These are the jeans tack buttons. You can see they're quite matte on top and quite an antique kind of nickel finish, and they've got the tack on the back. And of course you can't feel them, I can, but they've got a real heft to them, they've got a real weight to them. And here, for comparison, are some jeans buttons that I picked up from our local craft store, shall we say. And you can immediately see the difference. You can hear them, look. They sound like little bits of kind of metal foil, which is basically what they are, over a plastic innard, and they're about as light as a feather and about as useful as well, I have to say. So, you know, the difference between these jeans buttons and these jeans buttons is like night and day. These will last you forever. These will come off within the first couple of washes. And look at the state of my nails, they're shocking. Anyway, so we use these buttons, obviously. Don't bother using these. They're atrocious and they will not really hold up to wearing and washing more than a couple of times. And the other thing to show you is this. You can see the denim here. It's a really nice denim. In comparison, here is some craft store denim. Now, obviously, the colour is different. That's not a biggie. But the colour didn't start off different. The colour started off exactly the same. And this has been washed 2 or 3 times, and you can see the colour just leaches out of it. It also, I mean, you can't see this on camera, but trust me on this, it has a horrible, horrible feel to it. I know that I made a prototype using this a couple of years ago now, of a different jean, and I remember wearing it to kind of see how it worked out, and within 10 minutes, I promise you, my skin was crawling. It was absolutely awful, and within about half an hour, the whole thing was bagging and sagging. It was horrible. Oh, and the other thing to point out to you, while I'm busy saying that this is terrible and these are terrible, and they are, is the following. You notice that we haven't made any mention of interfacing on these jeans. That's because classic jeans are not made with interfacing. I mean, you don't think Levi Strauss had fusible interfacing knocking around when he was working on the first pair of Levi's, do you? No, because he didn't. You don't use interfacing. What you do is you make sure that you... one of the reasons you have the double rows of top stitching is to hold everything in place. It kind of acts like stay stitching, just to stop it bending out and bagging out on the curves. So no interfacing needing, but definitely good tack buttons, good denim, perfect. Okay, so just a little reminder for you to give you the best possible chance of success. We are going to be having on our Etsy store some really, really fabulous premium denim. We will also be having very soon on our website some more premium denim. So it's really down to you what you want to do. And also on both our Etsy store and on our website, you're going to be able to purchase proper jeans buttons, proper jeans rivets, really good quality jeans zippers, and I would imagine some top stitching thread too. So at least you can get it all in one hit and sort of get a big bundle of things so that you can get what you need to make a really, really beautiful jean. Well, that's it. What can I tell you? Our very first menswear pattern, hopefully the first of many. Don't forget, it's called the Mr. HP Straight Talking Straight Leg Jean, modelled by the fabulous Jeremy. You don't get him. He doesn't come with the pattern. He's mine. Thank you very much. I have
to add, though, I mean, it really is as simple as, you know, I'm not standing here saying buy my patterns, but ultimately, you know, no sales, no menswear patterns. It's that simple. If you want them, you've got to support them.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, it takes Trudy probably a month to draft and grade something, and, you know, I can't afford, if she's doing men's, she's not doing women's, and vice versa. So there's one of her, it's that simple.
There's just one of me. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and keep an eye on your inbox for news of more videos coming up soon.